Yeah.
All right, back here in the 5 o'clock hour. I want to remind people I have a new book coming out in 3 weeks.
Exactly 3
3
weeks,
weeks from
Mitch.
today, called
Exactly.
Twice.
Twice.
A magical story of a guy who has the ability to do everything in his life twice, but he has to live with the consequences of the second try. This is actually my second time around in life. It's a true story. My first show was I was an FM disc jockey, and I was saying, "Yeah, I got some Van Halen for you now," and but I decided to come back and try the AM dial. Anyhow, I will be going on. You can get the book right now. You can pre-order it on anywhere. Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, any of those places. Right. But I will be doing a book tour starting the first week of October all around the country. And the first week I will be making a stop here in Michigan in Grand Rapids at the Wealthy Theater.
Yeah, love that theater.
I'll be doing that'll be the first Michigan thing. So if you want to come out and get books signed and get your early Christmas presents or anything like that, or just say hi or meet us or anything, we'll all be there. Well, not all of us, but me and Rosie will be there. Wealthytheater.org, and theater is spelled T-R-E at the end. Wealthytheater.org on October 10th.
7 p.m.
At 7 p.m. The beautiful theater will be making a whole presentation, and I can't tell you, I can't reveal what the show will contain, but it'll be a lively evening.
Yeah. Somersaults.
Yes. Okay, I want to say hello to a friend of ours, a guy I've known for a long time. Mike Utley was one of the better linemen the Detroit Lions have ever had on the offensive line, and most of you are now familiar with Mike's story. Mike was a great player for the Lions during those early years when things were looking up, and then in November, I think it was, of 1991, against the Los Angeles Rams on a play that looked like every other football play. Mike got injured and was paralyzed for much of his body and lower half of his body, gave a famous thumbs up sign as he came off the field, and that became symbolic not only of that incident, but of the man himself. Mike has battled through things that a lot of men and women would say, that's enough, I don't want to deal with it. And he has become an inspiration to so many people. I had the chance to see him earlier today and said, what are you doing this afternoon? And he said, well, nothing much. I said, please come down to the show.
Yes.
And here he is, Mike Utley.
Thank you.
You were in town. This is actually your first time back since 2015, you said.
10 years. Absolutely, yep. It's been this weekend, the alumni weekend, watching, get inducted, it was absolutely a great opportunity to see some of the fellows again.
Who did you see yesterday at the Ford Field?
Ultimately, it was all the old-timers now, which we fight for disabled parking because, oh, dear Lord.
That's your biggest battle now.
It is. I used to be the buffet. Now it's crippled parking. But, it was, it seemed like, Lomas, Kevin Glover, Barry was there.
Yeah.
And the group that I played with, my 3 years, but going back and just seeing everyone getting back together, and boys are going to be boys, and it was a lot of testosterone this last weekend. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Why so long in between visits?
Well, in 2018, I had a spinal infection, and it set me back a little bit. Now I have rods between T5, my shoulder blades, all the way down to L4, just above where good God split you. And the energy level, the batteries takes so much longer to regenerate.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to
making a trip takes a lot out.
It just takes out of me, But the one thing is, I did want to come back to see the fellas, but also to tell the people of Detroit, from my bottom of my heart, thank you so much for still being there, giving me the thumbs up when I was on the field. They email, they text, they let the foundation know, man, Mike, we believe in you. Thumbs up. God bless you. Stay strong. And I just want to come back and tell the people of Detroit, thank you. You guys mean the world to me.
Well, you're doing it right now, and they're hearing you. And by the way, if any of you would like to say hi to Mike Utley, 877-44-MITCH. maybe there was a moment you remember when playing football, or you just want to pass on a good message. That's the best use of radio. That's one thing you can't do when you write for a newspaper is to, connect the people. You get the letters afterwards. But so if you want to say hi to Mike Utley or just a well wish, 877-44-Mitch for the next few minutes. We'll have the phone lines open to do that. What now that all of you are retired, there was a time, obviously, when you had to leave the game early and your peers were still in it. But now you're all out of it, like you say, and you're all looking back on it. And some of you are injured, not to the extent that you were. But, anytime you play football, by the time you reach 50 or 60, there are things that
You're paying
are
the
aching
price.
and hurt. You're paying the price for it. What's your perspective on the game? Do you have a different view of, was it worth it, or is it worth it? Would you do it again?
Mitch, that's a great question. And I'm going to tell you 100% it was all worth it. My God, I would go through it all over again, even though I'm going to be a crippled dude, a guy in a wheelchair. And, like I told my dad, decades ago, I played a game so I can have $20 in my pocket to have a beer and a burger anytime I want. And 1 year after my injury, my dad just says, "Boy, you got $20?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he has never questioned ever again if I would play the game, why I played the game. He just knew that I loved it. I loved the competition, the aggressiveness of it. Yes, the hitting, but the violence is part of the game. But also, my parents told me to stand on my own 2 feet and take accountability for my actions, make no excuses for what I want and what I'm willing to pay the price for. And I just got caught that one particular play.
Everything in life that happens to us changes us in some way. How are you a different person now, Mike Utley, after that injury than you were before it?
Okay. This is going to be a tough one for the wife. It's called, I have learned a little bit more patience, even though she doesn't think I have much patience. That's working with other people who may not have the same determination, work ethic, and the pay the price for what you want attitude. Not that it's special for me, but it's for the athletics. If you wanted to play the game and make it to this level, and watching some of these guys this last weekend who played 15, 16, 17, 18, 20 years in the league, that's dedication. I just want to be able to turn that passion I had there to this thing called life. And I just want people to realize you have opportunities, you make it what it is. And if you really want to go out there and make something in your life, say, I'm going to be the man I see in the mirror every day, and be that man or be the gal, but be the person you see yourself in the mirror.
You have a foundation now that is dedicated to the education of people with spinal injuries like yourself. Is that what the...
Yes. It's the Mike Utley Foundation, mikeutley.org, and it's research, education, and rehabilitation. The number one thing as an athlete is rehabilitation. You are never the same after an injury. Either you're going to be better or worse. It's what you put into it that matters. You will be successful in anything you do in your life if you put time, energy, and sustained effort. Sustained effort is the key of getting to be where you want to go. But research, bringing in the monies, that's number one. Number two, educating people about the spinal cord injury, that it's not, it's changing life, not life ending.
What, from the time that you got injured in that game to where you are now, what weren't you able to do, in the immediate aftermath? How far have you actually been able to come?
Well, it's one of these things, generally, quads at my level don't make it quite this long. So it's the tenacity, number one, but paying attention to the small things, listening to your body. As a spinal cord injured, it's bowel, bladder, and skin. Pay attention, eat well, live well, and do the right thing, and then take accountability. But the number one thing is working on lung capacity. That was the biggest issue.
When you were first injured, you couldn't really breathe. You couldn't really take a lot of breaths.
I had no strength. I had no diaphragm. The muscles were completely gone. And then learning.
I tell you to work at breathing.
Absolutely.
And talking goes with breathing, so I imagine
Absolutely.
you had to work at talking.
Yeah,
When you could you put out a full sentence when you or after you were first injured?
Mitch, I couldn't. It was 4 or 5 words. Take a deep breath. 4 or 5, 6 words.
Because you're like a DJ now, I got to say. You basically you can take over the show.
You just can't shut him up.
Yeah.
But no, it was a process where I literally did the spirometer, and that was every single day. And I pushed myself where it started having blood issues with bringing them up because I was pushing so hard they kept taking it away from me. But I knew getting oxygen in to feed the system. You feed the system, your body will follow what your brain tells it to do.
And now, I mean, you obviously use of your hands, and I know that the 2018 stuff kind of set you back a bit, but you have some functionality. You shook my hand today and almost broke it. So, I mean, you clearly got some arm strength there.
No, I am a C567 quad, which all 4 extremities are affected. I did this thing decades ago called biofeedback. That's finding healthy cells through your spinal cord down and then training those spinal cord cells to reconnect. And then I gained function with strength and over time. And it's just not sitting still, making excuses, pushing forward every day, challenging myself.
Yeah.
And then people around me, like you folks here, even though it's not the prettiest group of people.
No,
at
it's
this
not.
table.
That's why it's radio. But let me jump to the phone lines here. A couple people wanted to say hi, I believe. Gail, hi. You're on the Mitch Albom Show. Mike Utley is visiting with us.
Hi, Mike. I'm Gail Sandoval, and I don't know if you recall, but I met you in 2009, and you were the recipient of the Detroit Lions Ed Block Courage Award. That was named at that point in time after my late husband, Ricky Sandoval.
Oh, you're
Yes,
Ricky's
right.
wife.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I don't know if you knew it, and I don't know what I said. It was, pretty fresh after my husband passed away. But you were an inspiration to him and how you fought your fight to just continue to live. And I want to say that you also inspired me, too, because I went through a big loss, and not in a physical sense, but certainly in every other way. And you're an inspiration, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it very much.
That's so
God
sweet of
bless
you,
you.
Gail. Thank you,
Yeah.
and thank you for of course,
Ricky,
remember
okay,
Ricky?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of course, and that's a big honor to win that award.
A couple years ago, we went out to Hurricane, Utah, which is where Mike lives, and spent 2 days with him doing a couple of stories on him. But he said to me at some point, want to go down and see the town? Or you want to go somewhere? I go, yeah, but how are we going to get there? He goes, well, I'll drive. So he's all equipped. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Completely, right?
Yep.
Not sure I drive with Mike Utley even now.
You shouldn't be driving with Bernie, Mike.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Forget
I'm not
forget
trying to
that
drive
part.
with Bernie either.
Now you know why I drove. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that is true. How many miles do you have on that thing now?
The one Escalade is 460,000
Wow.
plus and 89,000 on the
So
other
you spent
one.
a lot of time at home, I can see
Yeah.
with those numbers, right?
Hasn't changed the oil once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, his wife Danny is on the other side of the glass, and apparently she never sees you if you have got 469,000 miles on your truck, unless she's with you. All
But
the
his
time.
attitude for the whole thing was amazing. We went by a golf course. He said, I want to do this. And he said to me again, which I'm sure would say again today, my goal in life is to walk again. And that has been his mantra for 33 years.
You know, it has. And that philosophy is to do what you have to do today to get to where you want to be tomorrow. Set goals. Danny came up with a statement. Athletes count success not in time, but goals achieved. Not time, but goals achieved. And that's live your life as if you're on a mission. That's the biggest ticket. And you do things, small steps creates ability to get to the top of the mountain.
Let me take another phone call here. Tony, hi, you're on the Mitch Albom program, and Mike Utley is here in the studio with us.
Mike, you was our inspiration back in high school, bruh. But I just got 3 simple questions. Because your injury happened so long ago, with today's technology, I'm sure you've watched it grow, exoskeletons, AI. Do you think you'll be able to benefit from any of it?
Okay, when it comes to the high tech, will I ever walk neurologically, functionally wise? The answer is no, because of what my back and surgeries. What it does do, the ability of skeletons to stand up, be able to get circulation and bone density. It's a positive. It's more of a mental thing. If your spinal cord is unable to carry signal again, then its ability to stand up and function the way you see yourself in the mirror, that's just a positive atmosphere that this AI is able to do for the technology to use skeletons.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy technology out there that's changing things.
Yes, it is.
Did you find after you were injured that some players, really kept up with you, but others kind of shied away because they almost don't want to be reminded of the danger that they face every day? So it's almost like catching a cold, by being around someone who's injured.
Well, there's two perspective on this. Do they see me as, yes, it could happen? Maybe, but that's not what it is. Everyone has a choice. Do your dang job and move on. The other part is the guys that I have connected with, I had more of a bond with, Lomas Brown, Kevin Glover. These guys, they see it, how we bonded then, and then when they first saw me in the hospital, I was the same guy that was the week of practice, same guy. And 33 years later, I'm the same guy. Because I tell people, there's only one injury that can ever change you. That's a closed head injury. Any other injury cannot change you unless you allow it. When I broke my leg, it didn't change me. When I broke my ribs, separated my shoulders, separated my hip, and then when I broke my neck, it did not change me unless I allowed it to. And I was a strong enough man by what my parents did to not let this injury change who Mike Utley is.
Well, that is a good philosophy. It is a lesson worth absolutely sharing and supporting. I encourage people we talk a lot about charity in this program. Mike Utley's got a really good foundation, and this is one, if you know Mike, you know about it. It does good work, and it supports, treatment for spinal cord injuries and encourages through education to get a lifestyle for the spinal cord injured and public awareness as well. They can go to it at what?
MikeUtley.org.
MikeUtley.org. Mike, it's such a pleasure to see you. You're a ray of sunshine. You and your wife Danny, and we had a fun lunch today because they scheduled a lunch and I had to walk and have a colonoscopy tomorrow. I said, I'm not going to be a very good lunch partner. I'm allowed to have coffee, carbonated beverages, and clear broth. What do you got? And
that's true.
And Mike's family was nice enough to just say we're not going to eat, and I felt so bad. I was delayed. Did you finally eat when I left?
Well, no, you didn't pick up the tab, so I figured, no, we really, sir, it was great, and I'm so honored to be able to have those few minutes with you, and learning about the greatness you're doing, and we're going to be involved with you, my friend.
Mike Utley, again, Mike Utley Foundation on the web, and Danny, thank you for coming down here. Mike, great to have you here, man.
Thank you for coming in.
You'll always be part of Detroit, and you'll always be welcome here. We'll take a break, and we'll come back. Another Lion, Alex Angeloni, on the other side of this.